right. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the US Open Qualifying 2025. This is a semi-final Q1 match. Introducing the players at the hazard end from the Royal Melbourne Tennis Club, we have John Woods Casey. At the service end from the Tennis Hall of Fame, we have Tony Hollins. Best of 3, 6-game sets, Tony to serve, level. $15 love. No, not up. Worse than 2. $15 all.
This is
30-15.
Ivan Ronaldson and Nino Marola sat down in the commentary booth. How's it going, Nino?
It's all good. Especially impressed by
30 all.
Brian's graphics, as always. So this is John's first match.
40-31
Father's here.
Chase. Chase is
Being a
worse than
seed
2.
in the qualifiers. Number 1 seed, I think.
I think he would have got in on handicap had it not been for world ranking points requirements right now. So the top 15 go through on world ranking points. Is that what you understand?
Anyone within the top 15.
Right. Well, he's certainly used to the court. He's been practicing more than anyone else over the last 3 days.
Yeah, he was looking good off the timbre earlier, which is impressive on a very tricky timbre. But Tony was out here yesterday against Pete Dickinson, had a convincing result there, 1 in love, I think it was. So clearly not uncomfortable out here.
Time, please. Thank you.
Susie Faulkner just asked if there's room for both of us in the booth.
Juice.
And Ryan, bit chopsy.
Luckily, it's about the size of a squash court in here.
Stroke. Advantage.
John seems to be favouring the demi.
So you were talking to me earlier on the way
Okay.
here
1 game to
about the demi. What were your thoughts on it?
Well, I had my first practice court at 6 AM this morning, and I felt like you had to serve it very gently to avoid it being a clear
3.
1 bounce. But I suppose, depending who you're playing, it might not be the end of the world anyway. Depends how well Tony can attack like that. I mean, if
So
John
you don't-
does that, that'll work fine.
You don't feel comfortable serving it soft? You're worried about double vaulting?
Yeah, for me personally, just the pace I'm used to serving it. I felt like I had it very gently here.
As of worse than 2, 2 chases. Team up.
Say that again?
You can control your headphones. You're number 3.
The volume in our headphones. So it seems like Tony's making another run at
15 love, receiver leads. Chase 3.
Playing?
yeah.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, with the He's currently at Newport with Josh Smith, having joined him not that long ago. Someone who's still young and keen and good quality player. That's obviously helpful to have someone in your pro shop that's
Better than 3.
similar standard and
Keen to practice.
practice a lot.
Hazard worse than 2.
Well, if you're going to hit the back penthouse of Railroad, might as well go out.
Yeah, much better than getting a cut volley into you, screaming into the corner, right?
I reckon on a hazard worse than 2, John would have just let it bounce and
Really?
taken first.
You wouldn't take that off the roof and just
Yeah, I
destroy
would.
it into
John
okay.
wouldn't.
Won it.
I would because I can't hit a gallery.
40 lap.
But I think John would do the classier option of.
Out of court. 15-40.
Tony trying to work out where it went out of court.
You heard that clack from the wood, yeah.
Or back. Lucky.
Okay. 1 game all. Halt.
So Ivan, as the head pro of the club, why don't you chat us through some of the distinguishing features of this new build at Westwood, relatively new build?
Well, we use armour coat for the walls. I think there are a number of UK
15
courts
lap.
that have armour coat. A lot of the US courts are made with Bickley cement, but I don't think that's an option anymore. We have slightly smaller galleries than I think every other court, at least.
Is that just mainly the bottom ledge being higher?
Bottom ledge is about 3 inches, maybe 2 or 3 inches higher. And the
30 lap.
last gallery comes up to about chase 6, where I think that's probably closer to 5 and 6 on most courts. So they're slightly.
Winning gallery the
Shorter
same, not as deep into the
40 lap.
stroke zone.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you definitely notice the bottom ledge height.
Our penthouse is the equal steepest in the world with Fontainebleau.
Better than 2.
So the angle is about 2 degrees sharper
40 lap,
than
1 chase.
most courts. Makes it difficult to walk on. If you like cleaning the court by getting up on the penthouse.
You still do that?
No way, I got vertigo. Never did that. Did see Spike Wilcox go around that on our unicycle once at Hampton Court.
Of course. I'll expect nothing less from Hampton Court days.
What else we got? We got our timbre. The timbre at the old Princess Court was angled so that if you hit a backhand from anything further forward than about chase 4, you would get a hazard chase very
40
often.
lap, serve lead,
You hit
chase
the
better than
timbre
2.
straight. So we've maybe slightly overcorrected. Our timbre's a little deep, not quite as deep as Tuxedo, definitely not as deep as Oxford, but
It's definitely on the thinner
definitely
side, yeah.
on the thin side, yeah.
Halt.
I guess the dead-on's a little smaller than most as well. So 2 inches higher, same as the galleries, and maybe 3 or 4 inches less wide. Have to be a little more accurate, a little harder to get past people.
Game.
Grill's the same size though,
Serve
3
lead
foot by
by
3
2
foot.
games to 1.
You played much at Hobart?
I've played at Hobart a bit, yeah. Yeah, that's noticeable when you're at Hobart.
Yeah, the Hobart Grill, for those of you who haven't been to Hobart, is about the size of a postage stamp.
Also quite a thin tambered court, actually, Hobart. Not as thin as here, but yeah, small grill there.
One of our members who was pointing out, because I've never played Hobart, was pointing out
Worse
that
than the yard.
the out-of-court area above the service penthouse, there's a whole bunch of windows, and the walls between the windows are in play.
Yeah. There's a few courts that have elements of that. Bridport. What else I've seen that's got space in between the windows being...
15 lap.
I think Bridport actually has some of the windows in play. You can serve a ball into one of the windows, it can rattle around and come back down and still be in.
So one of the great features of this court that doesn't really affect play much, as you see the windows above the service galleries. You get a lot more viewing area from the top.
Yeah, and the least important part of the court when it comes to hitting a ball up there intentionally and wanting some spin. Because obviously one of the downsides of glass anywhere on the court is that it's very hard to make it grip.
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you hit it up there, you're losing that point on you anyway.
Yep.
You should be.
And
right. We put it, only goes up to second gallery.
Having that wraparound is a good idea.
It only goes up to second gallery from the back wall as well, just so it doesn't affect any serves.
Hazard, worse than the yard.
And that mezzanine flooring up there overlooks the lawn tennis courts. I'd imagine you get the occasional inquiry from people who are
On the chase,
up there watching their kids play lawn tennis or something, and they can
better than a yard.
view through the
Come
window
across and check it out.
spot the court tennis happening.
On fault.
So, you got any predictions here at 2-1 in the first?
You've got to run with seeding if you're not sure. Like you said, John's practiced here plenty. His game's come on a lot in the last
On the chase.
I think, a couple of years. Doing a few things different that I think's really expanded his play, but also just eliminating a lot of those almost unforced errors. John's always looked really good, and then just occasionally made mistakes that didn't look like they were coming.
3 games to 1.
I think he's really stepped up, and he's added this two-handed backhand volley. He did that. Probably started doing that probably 3 years ago, but it's
No,
been
not up, worse than 2.
I've seen a lot of pros doing that now.
well, as we spoke
Effectively.
about earlier in the car. The lefties are so good off the timbre, and a big reason for that is that they've got that strength, deep in their stance, if you want to kind of call it that. And the best righty off the timbre, for the same reason as John, because he's got that two-handed backhand, essentially hitting a lefty forehand. I think it's an element. There's a few people that have decided that not only is it helpful for controlling your racket head in front of the dead-on, stinging that ball down to hazards, getting that volley short and on the floor. But I think it helps in elements like that. And it's made John a much better doubles player as well, because he's able to punish much more.
Yeah, I might have been mentioning this to you earlier, but
Chase, worse than 2.
seeing John play in the World Championship, hitting that two-handed backhand off the timbre, as well as some of these lefties. Really been trying hard to get my kids to play only forehands, left-handed.
Yeah, I remember
Chase a yard better than
planning
second
that.
gallery.
And it was
good.
working for a while. Then I took them to the squash court, and the local squash pro was having none of that. So then they've both been
They've both got backhands.
indoctrinated into backhands. Yeah. I didn't think it would work in squash. I think you've got to have. There's not enough time to change hands and.
On the chase,
for an
30 up.
Pretty exciting draw this qualifier. When you looked at it at the beginning, there's probably about
Well, I
8
think
people you thought might have.
You've got 4 good matches today. I would not feel confident of predicting all 4 winners at this point in time.
for
today's play,
Early
for
plays. They've
today's
got 2
early
more,
matches. Yeah.
But then the 2 this
Yeah,
afternoon could
they'll
go
also
either way
be
as well.
equally tough. Yeah.
Ollie Pridmore, have we had any news from him? Is he still sick?
I've heard nothing.
He was practicing last night, says Ryan.
And he's due to play Vaughan Hamilton, I believe, in the last.
$15.30.
We see a lot more variation from these guys in terms of serving than we did in the World Championship. Cam and John served almost exclusively railroads and bobbles, and is that what you're noticing in from practice?
Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously it's early days, right? Qualifiers. People are trying to discover what works and also what works for their opponents. So, one of the upsides or downsides. One of the distinctive features of the World Championships is that you tend to know who you're playing for weeks in advance and what court you're going to be on. I think there's a certain amount of planning goes into, the kind of game plan. I know that Cam specifically is very keen to feel comfortable what he would call behind his serve. So, knowing what the responses are and what cues there are from the opponent to tell you which way they're about to force or whether they're about to volley the return serve or not. Having this very chaotic game and trying to have structure, at least early on in the point, can be beneficial.
Yeah, the World Championship does, I think I agree with you, does produce very defensive strategies. Like, well, what is the thing they're really bad at? You know exactly who you're playing. When you go into when these guys are coming in, they know they've got to play five people, so they practice
at least,
a lot of
at the
things.
very least, you have to keep them off their strength. Obviously those guys at the top level don't have any outright weaknesses, but you don't want to be setting them up for what they're best at. You're right. Whereas these guys have to be able to play a variety of opponents, possibly all in one day. So these guys are then going to be playing, I think it's Bristow, Gordon, who are two also very different players to the two we've got on court at the moment.
Thanks, Tony. That's it up. Fault.
When you get to a certain level, you're not expecting to get a lot out of your serve beyond eliciting a certain response. The odds are they're going to hit quite a good return most of the time. It's just whether or not you want it to be a cut volley or a force or something played into the backhand corner.
15-30. Chase. Second gallery.
Bando. Wasn't that Bando?
Oh, I try not to argue with the marker.
He can't hear us.
$40-15, chase.
The main ball does kick out into the middle quite hard, doesn't it?
Well, and it's very quick off the walls here, which just means if you go across to cover the main wall, this is going in.
Thanks for that replay.
Ryan showing a replay there, trying to go
confirming Bando.
Yeah, you can't step across to cover the main wall and then discover it's missing. I think you've got to get a good read there early. Difficult to do. Otherwise, you end up playing things behind the back.
40-15, server leads. Chase, the second gallery.
Second gallery, John electing for a long railroad. No, he's found Tony's volley.
4 games to 2.
Wow, that's a terrible
little risky, the railroad on the second gallery, isn't it? You can hit that hard force below the dead on and get better than the second.
Yeah, I mean, you can. That's definitely the option. But you counter that by saying, well, they can't hit last gallery. They can't, if you serve a good railroad, some decent width, they can't thick boast it into your backhand to be better than the second short. At least when you serve that one, you essentially go across and have to deal with a forehand volley, but that's almost certainly what you're getting. If they chip it into your backhand, it's going to be slow because they're halfway up the court off a long railroad. And obviously, if they just roll one on target, then you lose a point. But
15 lap.
Yeah, it's picking your poison, isn't it? One of the big changes that John made in the last couple of years that has really helped his game is his volley. Defensive volley's really come on quite a lot.
30 lap. Correct.
Does he force a lot? I haven't seen a lot of forcing going. A lot of balls hitting the back wall that he's cutting into the corner. where a lot of other pros would smash it.
He can force, but no, I don't think it's his first.
40 love, one chase.
You know, John must consider himself to be fitter than the majority of his peers, and
He's tall though. Isn't he? He looks like he's about 6'2". Shouldn't he have the long lever force?
yeah, I'm not sure he's quite 6'2", but yeah, he's definitely 6 foot. Yeah, maybe, but he's quite light. I reckon I've got a couple of stone on him. Obviously, long lever is part of it. He can force.
Chase
He can,
2.
but he moves very well. He's got that very good kind of squashy, you know, getting quite flat to the ground, low into corners, and he works very hard for it.
Ooh, what do you call that?
On it.
1540.
Yeah. Do you agree with that one, Ivan?
Uh,
I mean, I think you're very
Holden,
brave to be offering comment, having sat and read the menu with a torch last night, because you can't see more than the
With a
foot in front of
flashlight.
you. It was awful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's the really close stuff.
That's
You
it,
wait, 32-year-old.
$30.40.
Really big point. Tony really needs this game here. He's going to win the set. Started 40 love up.
That's fired long.
Oh dear.
Got away with it.
Juice. Lovely goal.
Good ball. Good ball, that.
Advantage.
1 a.m. in Melbourne. Wonder if John's got any supporters watching this.
No, not up. Game. 3 games to 4.
Is there anything going on in the chat, Ryan? Nothing.
Cool. 15
Well,
up.
here's an equally big game then. 4 or 5-3.
Has the door. Last gallery. 2 chases.
All right, fellas. Just everybody, letting no emotes is taking over.
Wait, no, that's maybe for a second.
15 love. Receiver leads. Hazard. The door. Chase off. Score is 15 love receiver. Last gallery. Folds. Thirty up.
A couple of points from Tony,
So quick.
bringing up a few game points.
40
Level
love.
at 4 all in the first set. John trying to work out more effective serve, I think. One of the difficulties with serving
Yeah.
here
4 games
on
off.
this court with such a steep and slick penthouse is that it doesn't really grip, so it's quite hard to stop it skipping through. Length becomes very important. And welcome to Noah Moats, who's just sat down and put his headset on beside me.
15 lap.
Thanks. Didn't realize how big Ivan's head was until I
Yeah, you have to bend
had to adjust
bend
the
that back
headset.
into place, yeah. So it's just gone to 4 games all. Woods Casey was 4-2 up. Tony's played a couple of really solid games to level it back.
It's huge for Tony. He can he definitely loses his head a little bit if he goes down early.
Does he? Well, he's done well then. Ivan was saying that Tony seems to be a bit resurgent. We're speculating maybe that's with Josh Smith joining him at Newport, giving him someone to practice with regularly and a bit of inspiration. Good pickup.
Oh, wow.
Oof.
Okay. Forty lap. Chase 2.
I don't know. Maybe it's not fair to say Tony can lose his
40
head.
lap, 1 chase.
We can all lose our head.
Yeah. Demonstratively, in our case, many a time on court. Streamed in big events. So how are you feeling about yours? You are playing not the next one, but the one after?
I was feeling better before the doubles yesterday, but
Yeah, well, that Chase Moats is a crafty
40
character.
I know he's solid. Doesn't miss.
Yeah, and he absolutely drew you in. I saw him. He told me his game plan in advance. He executed it perfectly. He fell for it hook, line, sinker. It was textbook.
But he was gonna try to get hit by the
5
yeah,
games,
fourth ball I
4.
hit at him.
Well, it's the same game plan Eric seems to have, regardless of who he's playing.
It didn't work for Eric. He just seemed to avoid the ball.
Yeah, you've got to take one solidly in the chest, and then everyone feels bad. And
If it goes back over after hitting you in the chest, does that count?
it does not. Okay.
Hazard worse than
All right,
second.
anyway,
good
Thank
question.
you.
Right, Tony's going to want to get forward level up before he goes back down that end.
Better
that's
than
not
the door.
I think that's fine. You've already got a hazard. You get it better than the door.
Oh, from John's point of view, yeah, whatever.
And Tony, I mean, you're going to change ends eventually.
You are
get
going
too
to
easy
change
in.
ends, but if we all acknowledge you'd rather be at the service end, no, I would not.
It's probably why you're a much lower handicap than me.
Marginally though. Anyway.
Oh, boys.
Oh God, we're having some contributions from around the world. Someone is watching from Melbourne.
What time is it in Melbourne?
1 a.m. I think we decided, something like that.
aggressive.
Susie Faulkner is
Scores level.
astounded by the size of the facility they've given Ryan for this
Hazard.
particular tournament.
Worse than second gallery.
He's normally shoved in a broom cupboard, but actually, as Ivan pointed out, we've got what is kind of half a squash court in here. At the moment, it's very luxurious. Just waiting for Duncan to find their way in here, and we'll all be much happier. Ben Gatenbeek is
15
Billy
love.
Ross Skinner,
Chase
fastest
better
second
than the
US
door.
Open happening all this week. Yeah, same with Chris Lintott at the Billy Ross Skinner. And Sammy Legg wants you to.
Wow.
This is for you, Noah. Sammy
Yeah.
Legg wants you to divulge
Point
exactly what your
30
game plans are for your next round.
Not sure if I ever actually have a game plan. So,
It would imply the capacity to adapt your game, wouldn't it?
yeah, I don't have that.
There you go.
No.
Go out there and play and win, hopefully.
Yeah, sort of a one-size-fits-all sort of thing.
Sammy's also following up with a question about how you feel about your match with Eric, as if you've not played 200 or 300 times in the last 10 years of your lives.
Yeah, no, I'm happy
So
I
it's,
won.
it's a lovely, nothing like a first round draw of the guy that you practice with every single day.
I think I got lucky. He was injured, so it would have been,
Always helpful.
could have been a different result. Would have been a different result. All right, 30-15 to John.
Tony getting back up the service end for the end of the set though. And a good chase there.
Good luck.
John's been using that one-bounce railroad really well. Oh, Josh says I need to be more on comms. I think he's lying.
Do you? That's the level of confidence there.
Yeah.
I think
I was a last-second addition to this. It was more of a
thank
plea.
God you came in. Ivan was blind and deaf. It was very difficult to...
Yeah.
He was sat here
Scores
querying
10-15
Darren's
receiver,
marking
chases
Yeah.
through a
second gallery.
screen on delay. It's
Yeah.
obviously Ivan's well. He's a great marker, but not from in here. John's gone clever. This one will go across court. Yeah.
That's so good. That's so
yeah.
good.
Yeah, that was
40-15.
lovely. That was a
2
lovely
inches
final
over the
shot.
net.
Lovely final shot. Yeah.
You would have hit it back in the grill. Okay.
Not from that end.
No, no.
Well, I might have done.
Lost
Would have
it
been a
worse
mistake.
than 3.
Well left. And well marked.
30-40.
Yeah, there you go. I've never doubted.
We're all
Darren.
positivity here. Oh, Josh is excited about the shout out.
Fault.
Anytime, Josh, truly. Be happy to note as well that he got last in our fantasy league this year.
Did he?
Yeah. Mistakenly drafted too many Jaguars players. Anyway.
Chase. More than a yard worse
Oh,
on
there
the
we
last
go.
gallery.
So now, what's the choice of serve on this court for more than a yard worse than last gallery?
I think, especially for John, right? Is John coming over the serve
Yeah.
again? That one bounce railroad, why not?
It's just straight onto Tony's volley and then just go and deal with it.
Yeah. Honestly, I just think it's so hard to serve here. I'm often kind of just throwing in a bobble and then praying that it nicks. But I don't have the railroad that John has, so I think
Server leads. Chase more than a yard
It's a
worse
smart move.
than the last gallery.
immediately goes the other direction. Yep. I was wrong.
Going to go demi PK? No, he's going high, which I've found very difficult to serve well this morning.
Yeah, you got to get it on the sidewall first.
On fault.
Yeah,
Otherwise
well, it just skips through off the
Yeah, it
penthouse,
goes
doesn't
deep,
it? So
yeah.
it just runs along every time. It's not the biggest expanse of sidewall either.
No.
Some courts have a lot of wall to play with.
Oh.
That's a good ball.
On the chase.
God, Tony does look
Scores
sharp.
deuce. Second gallery. Worse than the door. I'd get nowhere near that.
Playful.
So. Fair play.
You know, you would have had that straight into the winning gallery.
I would have been nowhere near it. I would have been walking up with the racket in my left hand. Actually, I'd probably have assumed it was going in, because I think it was pretty
Scores
close.
deuce.
Okay. Love the vote of confidence.
Chase.
Yeah, it's not my game
Second
plan to
gallery.
chase down misses.
It's an interesting serve.
Yeah. Give John some options. Maybe sometimes
Advantage
tricks to
Chase.
overload him with
Worse
options.
than
Too
the
many,
door.
too many
No,
options.
it's smart. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it. Give him a softball.
Fault.
I actually don't mind the underarm twist from.
You have to catch sidewall.
Yeah, it's
though,
gotta get
right?
sidewall
It's
first,
like,
yeah.
it's really, having had my 1 hour hit this morning with Darren, we both discovered anything that does not hit the sidewall is absolutely
yeah, it's
sitting.
pretty much deep.
There we go. John's over the line in the first set.
6 games to 4.
But if you're Tony, you're not too upset.
No,
you got back
I
into
think
it.
6-4 in the first set's not terrible. I think he put up a good fight. Maybe he's learnt a couple of things ready for this set.
Like hitting the sideball there.
Yeah, it's big.
Beautiful.
$15 lap.
I tell you, won't be worried. He's played in plenty of tight games before.
Wow.
Yeah.
First
I'll be
gallery.
honest, I got distracted by the guy cleaning the window up there. Ryan, can we zoom in on that? No?
Oh,
It's
yes.
a great serve. That was the second serve I was going to say.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
full
that
PK.
was the other one,
Nick
yeah.
roll.
up.
Yeah. Oh, he almost got him.
Bolts.
He's gone. Ryan, too
Oh.
safe.
No, not up.
Oh, late call.
4.
Well, you know, sometimes it's good experience for the marker to just wait for the blatant reaction of both players saying it was down, walking up to the net. We've all done it.
I don't mark, so
No, that's fair.
yeah. Better for everyone. Ryan's pointing at my glasses. It is the glasses. Also a lack of intellect. The two. Wouldn't be able to remember the score.
This game nowadays, it's all digital. It's easy. See the ball do something, click the button.
Just so random. I was just like 30 love. Receiver leads. Chase the first gallery.
See a lot of arm sleeves these days.
Yeah, I started using one a couple of months ago on occasion, but it was more because it's suffering with a bit of tennis elbow, and keeping it warm was really beneficial for me.
How much of you wanting to look like an NBA player did
15,
play into that
30
decision
chase.
too?
I mean, obviously, it's a massive factor in the UK. All of those basketball guys are
Yeah.
NBA's basketball, right?
Yes.
They are, you know, super prevalent in the media, where we all want to be just
40,
like
50.
those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Just,
No, that's what I figured.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why do they wear them?
Tennis elbow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They just want to look like Woods Casey.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh yes, that's a nice heavy ball.
Head 2.
Classic.
It's a good match to watch. You've got two people who just have such pretty games.
Yeah, they are definitely two of the better looking technically players.
Handsome too. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
Only one of them, but we won't bother pointing out which one that
40,
is. That's fair.
15. Server leads. Chase better than 2.
Right, Tony's in good position here. He's starting this set off well. Likely to go one love up. Yep.
Again. One game
Good
till up.
prediction.
Well, it's just a tough chase. I was just playing the odds. I wasn't a slight on John Woods Casey's ability to beat better than 2. Going to skip through, Tony. It's going to skip through. Yeah, fair enough.
I think he heard you.
Someone told me we had 2 bounce winning galleries in this qualifying already.
Chase hit one.
And Lewis Gordon, I believe, hit one.
Oh, that's sweet.
What do you mean you didn't see it, right? You stream every moment of every match. I've seen the video clip.
Oh, an ace.
30 up.
I'd like to see Tony throw in a few more of these PKs. They intrigue me. That one came out so low, the one that you said before, and it caught low back wall.
Oh, it's a weird bounce.
Just missed last gallery.
Worse than 5.
What do you think? With there being an element, because the galleries are further up the court, right? They're at kind of 6 yards better than 6, rather than most courts where they're a bit deeper. And obviously, John's quite high up the court there, nearly on the hazards on the backhand side. It is actually quite a thick angle when you miss that edge. But on most real tennis courts, that angle is invariably thin, just because the galleries are deeper. So Tony's kind of gone to where he'd expect the ball to be. But
Right.
actually, I'm not sure I would say that bounce was different how you'd expect. If someone hit the same spot on the main wall by winning gallery, you'd expect it to get around to the middle. Once Hollins beat Woods Casey.
Once? Oh, okay, that's an answer. Tony is looking confident now here in the second set.
The
though.
B is Ben Gatenby, for
Okay.
anyone that's even had modicum of doubt there. And he was doing that in response to Daniel McBride asking if these two have played before. Thank God Ben's able to do that back home, because I do not have that kind of knowledge. Daniel McBride then asked whether or not John Woods Casey has improved much since then, and Ben has
40 laps,
clarified
7
that he's dropped about 5
Chase
handicap
worse than
points.
5.
Whereas Tony has pretty much maintained his handicap at the same level.
$15.40.
So what's John off then? About a 2?
Yeah, 2 something.
And then Tony's 7 or 6 or something.
Yeah, I think Tony's a bit of an unknown though, right? Because he's kind of played pretty infrequently,
Game.
not
2
that
games,
seriously
fill up.
over a few years. He's had some good results, but he's had some fairly indifferent ones as well. But there's no easy matches, in this qualifier, especially in the kind of last 8.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of good players also already gone out, but as Ben Taylor Matthews and Rob Shankman highlighted when they were doing their podcast episode on it, the qualifiers were actually the only point of interest. Anything they spoke about, they didn't speak about the main draw at all, because actually the qualifiers were so exciting. There were so many outcomes there. So yeah, we expect an upset from you later on today. And,
I wouldn't put money on it.
okay, that's a vote of confidence.
I was just matching your energy from earlier.
That's it up.
Danny McBride saying that Tony's dictating play at the moment. Probably a couple of minutes out of date, that one, but he's not wrong. He's winning.
No. 40 love.
Definitely dictated
one
that point.
Chase better than 2.
I think we'll have Mr. McBride on some commentary later on today. So. Good serve from John, landing it around the edge a couple of times there. The ball comes off the penthouse very quickly. Hard to appreciate on the
40
camera how soon it will feel to Tony
Chase,
that he's
better than
taking
2.
that ball after it skips through.
Yeah, it's definitely going to feel a little behind him, as opposed to where he's used to hitting it.
Full PK. Looks deep. Great shot.
Yeah.
Game. 1 game to 2.
Yep. Lovely return.
It's a tough serve to do in singles, right? I mean, you're opening the court up.
Yeah, I mean, you're opening the backhand corner. And as such, opening the galleries, which I think that's the bigger issue, really.
Especially with John. He's
Yeah, I mean,
take a
he
gallery.
played that ball in his backhand corner perfectly, right? Better than 2. You think, well, if I serve him the full PK, you can't really find your forehand corner. Very hard to volley that return serve better than 2.
Right.
So, assuming that he's going to hit a shot that will beat better than 2, would you rather it was a cut volley, a main wall dead on, or a cut in your backhand corner? You probably would rather it was a cut in the backhand corner.
Yeah.
He's played it very well, but if he's going to get it right, that's probably the one you
Chase
want.
the line.
As it happens, he's played it pretty much perfectly, and Tony can't get it back. But
2 chases.
I was saying to Ivan earlier, that's a big part of the game. Once you get to this kind of standard, you are going to get a good return of serve pretty much all the time. You just get to pick which one you're going to get. Do you want a cut volley? Do you want a force? Do you want a cut into your backhand corner / bail out, they hit a gallery? But you're not going to get them just spraying balls in the back penthouse for you regularly.
Don't do that.
Do that. That's
That's
horrible.
so
That's
mean.
An awful green screen. It's an awful. Yeah, that's good try there, Ryan. No, they don't.
I have no fans. Yeah, I do think that
15 love. Receiver leads.
getting
Chase.
your opponent to chip it into the backhand on a return on this court is almost a victory, kind of like you're saying.
Yeah. Well, I think it is most of the time, right?
Yeah.
It's very, very hard to. You look at some of the historical, best returners of the game ever, and look at Tim and Rob and kind of how they dominated, or even Steve Gona, despite being left-handed, and you kind of go, well, do you want them forcing? No.
15 all.
Do you want them cut
Chase
bombing?
the
No.
line.
Well, they've got to hit
Yeah.
something. I remember quite vividly that 2018 World Championship of Rob versus Cam at Queens, and I think Rob forced unbelievably well for
30-15.
the entire time, but Cam was really struggling to find something that Rob couldn't absolutely leather on target first time, and in the end he settled into a kind of sidewall railroad,
Yeah.
landing it really short in the court. which is very difficult to just decide you're going to do and execute well, but Cam did.
40-15.
And in the end, Rob was forced into taking galleries. But being Rob, he didn't just take any gallery, he took last and then was able to essentially shrink the court down enough at the service end. Obviously, if you're playing last gallery, Rob doesn't have to cover more than the back 7 yards of the court. And as soon as you give him a half look at the hazard, he slips into there. And, it's a slightly slower rhythm, but it's a very effective way to play. Last gallery, change ends. Not first one's into a hazard. Third love up. Camden's not been able to get into a rally or even play a shot beyond his serve and his return.
Yeah, I missed that World Championships, but now I feel like I've watched it. So
Good.
yeah, you should.
Worse than 2. Hazard. Oh.
Oh, that was cool. Oh,
On the
unlucky.
chase.
I feel like he deserved a flush bounce there.
2 games all.
Just for the bravery.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh.
Ryan, correctly noting this is the most exciting game in court tennis. The 5th game. If I was Freddie, I'd have some good alliteration for it, but unfortunately for you all, I'm not.
It is
15
unfortunate
left.
for all this. Yeah. Good ball. John's overhit a couple of those today, but he's started to find his balance between cut and depth in the court there.
Yeah. If you're Tony, you're starting to see him get a little upset in between points, but it's 2-all in the second set.
It's 2-all.
Yeah. Be happy here.
But Tony was 2 level up, right? So
It's all right.
he'd love to have extended that lead, obviously.
Definitely, yeah. But he's playing great.
Yeah, some good rallying happening here. Good shot, nice and short
Better than
from John.
3. 2
Tony
chases.
highlighting there quite how important it is to hit the timbre, especially on this court. Where the timbre is very fast and a little bit thinner.
Sends the ball deep, too.
Does, yeah. Just makes it harder for your opponent to get back into the point by finding your backhand corner, even if you hit straight timbre. Whereas most courts, if you hit a straight timbre, you actually regret it. You'd much rather miss than hit straight timbre.
$15 love.
Yeah, and 2 tough chases here.
Chase 2.
Yep, 2 decent chases, but Tony has capacity to beat both of them.
Yeah, he's got a strong cut volley if John gives it to him. And a good force. Great ground player.
John going high again? Not too high.
Oh.
It was actually too high. Didn't hit the roof.
Okay, yeah, fair
It's a
enough.
fault.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Lost it. 15 all. Chase better than 3.
It's an unlucky bounce.
Cool, man. 30-15.
Interesting series of boasts here from both players. Good shot from Tony.
Yeah, such a good ball.
30 all. $40, $30.
So how was that 5th game, Ryan? Has it lived up to your expectations?
He gave a nod. You can't hear that, but he did nod.
Yeah. And it's not over yet.
He did scoot forward under the edge of the
He is
seat.
the edge of the seat, but these are not the most secure seats, so I'll scoot back if I were you, just in case.
Oh!
Would you say this is a huge game?
I'm not so sure I'd go that far, no.
Okay.
I think a 3-2 lead is still a long way from finishing the set. So I think whoever wins this one, the next game is going to be much more important.
Yeah. I personally, I would prefer to win at 2-all.
Would you?
Advantage.
And then at 3-2 as well.
Well, I'm going to say, I'd give me the sixth game as a guarantee, and I don't mind what happens in the fifth one quite as much. But obviously, it makes no difference whatsoever.
Oh, good get. Wow. That's impressive. Apologizes, but no eye contact. I get it.
Holds. Better than 2.
Yeah, that was kind of pretty flat.
Score is deuce.
Yeah, Tony was attacking that forehand corner there. Kind of have to kill the point immediately if you go forehand. For the most part, they're going to get a winner off the Tambour grill here.
Yeah, I'd agree. Shot. Couple of good chases today.
Apparently doesn't matter though, because this this game doesn't.
It's not as important as the
Yeah,
next
it's
game.
not that important.
No, I agree.
Score is deuce. Chase better than 2. Advantage server, chase better than a yard. Lost it. Game, that's 3 games to 2.
I think we should somehow get a microphone over to Danny.
I don't think he needs one.
He does need
He's
one.
He's
He's
working overtime on the text.
seriously.
Daniel Bride has observed that John Woodcasey's backhand from the receiver's end, feathering it short just over the net, is a top shot.
2 and 3.
Jake McRae's also given us a comment of great note, but it's very hard for me to vocalise. Maybe Ryan will put it on the screen, maybe he won't. Yeah, I think John's backhand cross court and short is very effective. As Jake McRae.
I think Jake agrees. I think that's what. Oh. I think that's him saying he agrees. Music to his ears.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Score is level. Chase the second gallery. String, thank you. Correct. 15 love, server leads. Chase, 2 and 3. One
Good
out.
It's a great return. Yeah. Not a bad serve either.
15-all.
No, quite right.
I think
well
like you're-
executed from both.
Yeah, like you're saying that. Getting the sidewall on the serve is so important here.
Faults.
It comes down very quick, but because the penthouse is slick and steep, you are quite reliant on the fact that the only difficult factor of that serve is that it's quick, if you know what I mean. You know, on a penthouse that's very grippy and therefore responds to the spin you put on it,
30-15.
you toss up something like that and you can get very variable bounces, but because the penthouse here is not only slick, but it's also new, so it's very consistent. It's not built a big old ski ramp into it yet, like Queen's has at certain
40-15.
points, and Hollyport very famous in the UK. So if Tony can time it right, which is very difficult because it's moving quick, I think he'd back himself to get that right
Oh.
fairly often. And was that kind of sidewall with the old Washington court was very effective. And you used to be able to really get to bite down off the back wall as well, actually. Shot. It's difficult. This demi-PK length out here is very tricky. If you serve it too short like that, Tony has the capacity to hit either corner. He's hitting that forehand corner with a lot of weight behind it.
Yeah.
But it does not take much for you to accidentally serve it long, because it really skips through.
Just like that. I was like,
If you don't take it off the back wall, you can also cut to either corner or even drive it. So, you know,
Right.
John's doing his best to contain, but
It looks like
Tony's
John
looking good.
40-15.
cuts
Serve
underneath
leads,
it on
chase
the
worse than
demi
two.
PK. Is that?
Yeah, so what I think he's trying to do is save it leaping essentially too high in the air. If you play it with undercuts, it has a slightly lower flight, lower bounce, less deviation between it hitting and missing, but it skips through less. If you serve obviously topspin demi PK, which is a great serve to serve, it leaps really high in the air.
Oh,
drops, a great
Tony.
finish from Tony.
Yeah.
It drops very steeply down, which means the difference between hitting and missing is massive, but it skips. It's such a big leap that it skips through so far on a court like this where it's liable to run through to the back anyway. I think it's not really.
Do you think it makes it more predictable then for Tony to read?
With the underarm demi or
Yeah.
the sidewall?
The underarm demi.
Please.
Well, it's not going to do anything off the floor, but we all kind of know that anyway. But you're not serving a demi to try and. John is doing what he's trying to do. Right? The demi PK is a serve designed to prevent the cut volley. Tony's not volleying them, but because of the length that they're being
They just
served at,
land,
Tony can cut to either corner.
Yeah.
And on a court where it's a bit grippier and you can therefore pitch it a bit deeper without it running through to the back wall, you can essentially make it quite difficult for them to still cut that ball off the floor to the forehand.
Right.
15-all.
It's it's just a feature of the court. All courts are different, but because we're so early in the proceedings this week and this is such a new club for most of us, a lot of the focus in our mind as players is on how the court plays and what you can and can't do on here compared to your home club or other clubs that you know well.
Yeah.
30-15.
Same as the value of the timbre here. A ball hit firmly into the bottom half of the timbre here, regardless whether it's straight or main wall, is a
Nearly
great
a
shot.
yard worse than the last gallery.
And weirdly, just missing underneath the grill here actually is a pretty terrible shot because you can lay hazard pretty easily.
Yeah.
If you hit underneath the grill with pace. There's a lot of courts where it's really unlikely you lay a hazard.
Yeah, it's pretty
So,
bouncy off that back ball.
That space underneath is almost as good as in.
Oh, that's so good and fun to watch.
Worse than two.
Bit too firm for Daniel McBride's liking, I think.
No, he would
Feels
not have
shorter.
liked that. No.
Danny's given us some insight that if you can find the length, the deep boast in the backhand corner is a strong play on this court. There you go. One to keep an eye out for. Ryan Carey is offering a microphone to Danny if he can get within throwing distance of the club. Ryan will go outside and just give us some coordinates. It's nice to have some interaction.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah.
We're not going to get that many Australians because of the time difference.
Yeah, and Danny's obviously one of our favorite people. So
Yeah, just generally, not even specified for the tennis court world. Just
No, yeah.
just
course.
generally.
so
Clearly wishes he could just be here all day. But,
30-15. Receiver
got a real
leads.
job.
Chased nearly a yard worse than the last gallery. Oh.
Right.
Tony's kind of running away with this.
40-15
it's
chase.
Had a
worse
very
than
strong
2.
set. If he can beat this one, puts himself 5-2 up.
Yeah, even after winning that useless 2-all game, it's
Yeah, I mean, he's that next game really made it, didn't he? Because 3-2 is kind of irrelevant, but 4-2 was massive.
be 3-all though if he didn't
Straight back over.
win the 2-all game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Or if he didn't win the 3-2 game.
Right.
30-40.
Cross court. Good finish.
Makes it look easy. It's going to be a funny change of pace for the next match.
Next one's Gordon Bristow.
Yeah.
Probably fewer elongated backhand to backhand rallies.
Yeah, Freddie doesn't really let those rallies go long.
No. Freddie's got one of the more aggressive backhands out there. And Lewis Gordon has the capacity to take your head off from anywhere at any point. But Bristow played Will Flynn yesterday, who's, the other really massive hitter in this bracket. So he's up to speed, as it were.
Game. 3 games to 4.
But Tony was up 40-15 at one point there, albeit with a chase 2 to beat.
It may have
But
cursed
John's
him.
done well to get himself back into it. And
Oh.
some disguised cut there from John Woods Casey.
15 love.
Tony started to step in and volley the demi.
Oh, he's going to be unhappy.
Well, the bando's unlucky, but
love.
there's a good finish from John. Just roll it wide of the tower into the neck.
Okay, Tony had a 2-game lead earlier on in this set. John brought it back.
Better than
The
second
even.
gallery.
So there's precedent for Tony to go 2 games up again after this.
I see, yep.
Take the set. If it is that he loses this game, of course.
That's the second, thank you.
Oh, okay. Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Thirty love, receiver leads, chase better than the second gallery.
When was the next match supposed to go on?
9:45, I believe.
Time, please.
No one expected it to run to time today. All of these matches could be 3-setters, I mean. And then, half the players have to play again later on today.
Right.
40 love.
Audible disgust
Hazard.
there was from no
Second
emotes.
gallery, Hazard.
in case Tony
No, it
watched
wasn't
this back.
discussed. It was more of just,
Disappointment.
yeah, you'd expect Tony to get that back over. But he's playing well, though, so can't be too upset.
Tony would be disappointed with that serve not going in though, just because it was a very good serve.
Well,
Hazard second.
one could say it wasn't.
Fair. Boom. And we're back at 4.
Game. 4 games all.
Don't get too excited. Almost got out of your seat there.
No, not up.
Yeah.
1 and
Does
2.
rip down if you leave it to the back wall.
Yeah.
Heavy cut.
And John's cutting it well.
And the door.
That was a good serve from Tony. Forced John into snatching a gallery. Sammy Legg inquiring about the two-handed volley. I think he's specifically asking about the grip. And he's described one particular way of playing it as cat-handed. I think it's much more important that it's based on how you grip the racket normally. If you already hold your dominant hand right at the bottom of the racket, you don't have the opportunity to put your weak hand anywhere other than higher up the shaft. Bryn Sayers very famously holds it the other way around. And has an exceptionally good two-handed backhand for all sorts of aggressive purposes. But I think it's pretty uncommon.
15 love, chase the door.
Great volley from John.
And a fist bump. Or
30 love.
so I don't know. I take that back.
Sammy, I do hope you're not planning on staying up to watch Pridmore. Great pick up from John. His movement into that corner is really, really nice. I really like how he turns and.
Does he come from squash?
Yeah, I believe so. But he does a lot of. I know he does a lot of training with Chappie about not just getting to corners, but how to get into corners. He's very stable. He's a lot of us, myself included, go running in there, have a swing at it, bounce off two walls, hope to recover. John's very controlled in his movement.
Oh, okay.
Good game.
All right, Tony, lock in here.
Game. That's 5 games to 4.
Tony hitting some lovely volleys up the line, just not quite going in at the moment.
It's a good get, though. It stays in. Oh, it's
15
unlucky.
love.
It's unfortunate because he had such a good get off the
It
timber.
was a great
before
first
that,
game, yeah. Although, as we remarked earlier, because of the thinner angle of the tambo, obviously normally when you get one off the tambo, you're desperate to try and get the ball back across the backhand side of the court, prevent them just hitting the tambo again.
Yeah.
But because it's thin, it's a bit behind you, it's tougher to do.
Thirty, 15.
There it is. Like I said, he's hit bandos, he's hit just under.
It's a
30
brave
all.
shot, too. 5-4, 30-15 down.
If the
For
ball's
the
there to be
match.
hit, I think it's important that you just, I know all my better performances have had it in common, and my worst performances have not. Is just sticking to your shots. If that's what Tony practices, if that's what Tony does in practice, you should use it. Try not to overthink it at the big points because it's too tempting to try and do something really clever. Or
Got to be careful here, though, with a hazard better than 1.
he's got free ball.
Oh, it's a good ball, Tony.
40, 30, 1 chase. Chases hazard. Better than a yard. Forty, 30. Server leads. Hazard, better than the yard. Fault.
Ooh, big fault call.
Do you think Tony has an issue with the actual decision, or just hopeful?
Hopeful. Good get. Although, yeah. You expect John to put it away? Yeah.
On it.
Brings it back to deuce.
Advantage.
And John's first match point. Not the serve you want. Hope for a fault.
Opportunity for John going to get awkward. Nice positive ball. Wait for an easier one. Shot.
Oh,
that's
it's a
good
great point
Well
by
played for both.
Tony. Yeah.
We really don't need to applaud, but
Could have saved that one.
Oh.
big force.
Chase better than the second gallery. Worse than 5. Scores Juice.
Tony remarking about not hitting the timbre again.
Clearly a frustration today. Two beautiful chases.
I think if you're Tony here, you expect to get both of these, tie up at 5-all.
Well, I think on this court, Tony's unlikely to be taking on last gallery, unlikely to be hitting a straight drive, even on chase better than second, because obviously he can't afford to hit second. And
That's such a good cut volley.
yep.
Advantage. Chase worse than 5.
John going to elect for Demi again.
Maybe give him the same return.
Wrong.
Oh, no.
That's a good ball.
Wow, that's really well played, Tony.
Big game, well won.
Game.
Here we are then.
5 games
The
all,
second
set.
biggest game of this set so far.
So many targets and Nick's just missed there.
15 lap. Stroke. Off the foot. Thank you.
He's dialed that cut volley in, though.
15 all.
I think John's going to have to keep off that cut
30-15.
volley if he's...
Yeah, give him a force. Is John chewing gum?
Yeah. Noticed Max Truman doing the same thing yesterday. Tony's bought himself up a
40-15.
couple of set points here. Could be in for a third set.
Oh, and he's
Good defensive volley from
saved
John.
one set point.
30-40.
Will Tony go back to his cut volley?
Ryan is on the edge of his seat.
Good serve.
Chase.
Oh
Bye-bye.
my goodness. Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Very beatable chase to save another set point. Ryan moved forward to the edge of his seat. Nino moved back to lean back into his seat. 2 different energies.
This is the hard-hitting commentary you were waiting for.
40-30. Server leads, chase the line. Ball.
Opting for a bobble.
I reckon Tony won't cheat up this time. Gone pretty safe. It was a great shot from Tony.
Oh, and he's got the set.
Game
Wow.
and the second set. 6,
Great playing by Tony there.
5. Score is 1 set all. Third and final set.
Pointing at the timbre.
Finally found it when he needed it. It was a
Bubble.
great ball, though, to be fair. Would have been a good shot even if it missed that one.
Chase 2.
Starting at 4-all. The third set.
$15 love. Ball up, thank you.
Well, I don't know who's got the practice courts in the middle booked, but they might be out of luck.
Out of court. $15
Marathon match.
Has a bed in the yard.
What, out of this one? Yeah.
Two
I'm actually not too
chases.
bad. This is like, oh, it's like, can you hear me?
Yeah, now's a good time as any. Thank you.
Freddie Bristow and Chase Motes have joined us in the broom cupboard. Freddie's drenched in sweat from his hour-and-a-half long warm-up already. This next game.
Poor audience, I'm back. Left alone with me now.
Score is 15-all. Chase 2. Chase off.
Did he win that?
Chase off.
Score is 15-all.
John's still looking
Has
for his
a bed
length
in
on
the
that high
yard.
serve.
That's a nervy call. What do you think the odds are it landed on the line?
You're going to just measure the width of the line versus the area that's not
No,
line,
I just
'cause then
think-
you can 1 in 5.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, great.
All likelihood it won or lost the chase, but
30-15.
Freddie, you taking notes?
Yeah. I get through my match first. Commentate. Commentate on your match.
Woo.
40-15.
John's come back with a purpose.
Line.
John's not happy with the line there. What do you think the odds are it was the line?
That's a certainty.
What is, there's a line a yard worse than the first gallery.
Yep.
Is that the line?
Nope, that's to denote between
40,
what is
15,
worse than first and
receiver
what is
leads,
chase the line.
So the line, that line is the line.
Anything in space beyond that line is.
All right. Anyway, back to the match.
Well played,
What a
Tony.
shot!
Time, please. Thank you.
Nice, tidy tennis. Cut volley comes on an angle, sweep it into Hazard second.
Score is 30-40.
I'm looking for a gallery there, but
Game. One game till up.
great volley.
Great volley. I don't know if you feel the same, but I always find it hard
15
to
up.
keep your energy up after winning a tough set.
Yeah, I think that's pretty regularly borne out actually in these kind of matches. Often someone fights really hard and then actually goes a couple of games down right at the beginning of the next one.
You let all your adrenaline out,
15 all.
Yeah, you
kind of calm down after you
bre-
get the
breath
6-5
of breath
game.
of relief. There's definitely an
Yeah.
element to that. Yeah. They've both played that cut shot line more often than I'd have expected, mainly because of how much it skips through off the back wall. I found when I was out this morning, I had hit that backhand cross court every time because it was miles in front of me. So
Maybe
they're clearly both reading the court much better than me.
I wonder if it's more of a
40,
can't go for the
15.
galleries as easily. So
Well, and it's got some deceptive elements, right? Because everyone's obviously expecting it across court, and as we've seen, John hit some great kills across court with that backhand too.
yeah.
So we're not going to see fitness play an
Yeah,
issue
that's 2
in
games
this
till up.
particular match. Both these guys have plenty of fitness for a three-setter, but they are both playing, or one of them will be playing later on today. I do wonder whether the extra set, if they happen to have a tight one later on as well, could play a part.
Last gallery.
Yeah, I mean, I think for John, honestly, having a match, if he is to win this one, a match on is going to be good for him.
Oh, no doubt.
His
Yeah,
first, he didn't play a match before this. And Tony's in great shape, so
7-2.
I don't think it'll be an issue. He didn't have a necessarily long first round
I suppose that's true.
match, so
He was clinical.
I was fully ready for you to say something about my fitness,
No, not at all.
which
I've absolutely no idea what fitness is. Should be fine, shouldn't it?
non-existent.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're currently joined in the booth by the victorious doubles qualifier, Chase Motes.
He is the best doubles player in the family now.
Score is level.
No,
Chase the last
most successful
gallery.
maybe.
Fifteen love. Chase better than 2. Fault.
Yeah, this camera work is so impressive. As always, Ryan outdoing himself.
Lost it. Fell 3. 30 love.
John's really settled himself down here. I think he'll be hoping that he can make short work of his last one. Doesn't want it to get tied again because Tony did such a good job in the last set of
Time, please.
pegging it back and putting it away in the end.
Yeah, John's just playing so tidy,
40 love.
not putting anything on the roof. Really, neither of them are.
No, I agree.
Fault.
John has a couple of horrid attempts at first serves though. does what all good players do, which is look at the racket for answers.
Out of court.
Yeah, there it is.
I can't help but feel partly responsible for that
15,
ball out of court.
40.
Because you're just,
I just-
highlighting
yeah.
how, yeah. You should. Good use of knowledge. Good ball.
Really, really well directed. Didn't put too
30,
much on it.
40.
Quick.
Vienna's remarking on how quick the court is, making an excuse before his match.
Wow.
All right, 3-love to John. But Tony's not out of it. He's a fighter. He's been playing great throughout this match, so I definitely think
Oh,
he can get back in. There's no sense in counting him out. Seem to be getting a lot of texts from Peter Dickinson. Just curious why he's choosing to text me directly and not posting in the YouTube chat.
I've seen the content of those messages, and I know exactly why he's not putting them on the YouTube chat.
Doesn't want the world to know that he's a bully.
Danny McBride asking whether there's possibly any difference in the weighting in this, in that John's come all the way from Melbourne and Tony's just come down from Newport. I think when they're on court, they're probably both still obviously equally keen to win. Obviously, John does have to travel a long way and at great expense to come to these things. And luckily, I think after this, he's coming over to the UK to spend a couple of months at Hampton Court Palace before he goes back to Australia on a job swap with Jack Josephs from that.
That's cool.
30-15.
But John's been here a few days, and he's acclimatised. And I mean, I've never seen him turn to a tournament and not put in a ton of practice hours. And he's often out there very late or early.
Oh,
And I think Tony equally has found a new drive towards getting back to where his form has been.
We're in a very strong position in the game as a whole at the moment. And you just look at the strength of these qualifiers. You're going to have some guys, sub-5 who are not going to be making it into the main draw. It's a testament to the overall quality.
one chase, yes, hazard a yard. Forty, 30, one
I'll play
chase.
both.
Chase hazard a yard.
Tony's going to need a good serve here to hold off 4-love.
What would you say for now? It's your call. You're playing shortly.
I don't know if I should be...
Divulging your secrets.
well, it's not that.
Can be a railroad,
It's,
Receiver leads.
And then when you
hazard,
fault it, a bubble.
yard.
yeah. Possible double fault.
Tony could be the same. Let's find out. Yep. Quite a shallow
Thank
bubble
God he
there.
didn't double fault. That would have been
On you.
on me, yeah.
Juice.
But it's an interesting play from John to try to go down the line, flat cut volley. I don't know. Volley force.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a shot he practices. Like he
that's
hasn't
it.
played it much today, has he?
No.
So he's clearly picked that one out because of the
Yeah.
specific game state. But
Oh, it's a good serve.
No,
Great
no,
serve.
no.
Such a good serve. A good time to pull it out.
Juice. Advantage.
Oh, it's a great ball, Tony. See if he can get two together here. Get this game.
Yeah, he's fighting hard for this game.
Advantage.
Seems to be kind of
Juice.
one
Yep.
weak backhand, one amazing backhand. See if we can see two amazing backhands. That's one.
Which one? Yeah. Well, he's not lost the second one. Yeah,
Advantage.
Frank, he's
No,
on
he's
it now.
normally-
He's got
yeah,
it.
yeah,
This
of
is
course.
1-3.
Yeah.
Should move on.
No, not up. Worse than he had.
Well, John's quick run has obviously stuttered a little bit. Good news for Tony. He's slowing down.
Well, we'd love to hear from you in the comments if you're watching. Been a great match. If you got any questions for Nino, we'd love to answer them. He's a
We've got 75 people watching, so
Advantage receiver. Chase worse than a yard.
great serve. Great finish. Clever serve there. Short side ball.
Execute.
Get it running across Tony. Force him to a backhand. He's played it quite well. Ask a question, but
It's a great ball from Tony there. He's asking the
Advantage.
question. He's doing enough. Just string them together. 1-3 is certainly back in this set.
great finish.
4.
Juice.
I think maybe Tony was asking how many bandos has he hit. And John was saying to the audience it was 4 bandos. Great shot. And also impressive that he knew how many bandos were hit.
Yeah.
He's playing a match. He's
I know,
thinking
and
about
he-
so many things. We're just commentating.
Didn't know.
I thought maybe 2 bandos. Great cut
Very
ball.
much, better than half yard. Advantage.
Better than half.
Now, what are the... You think 1 out of 5 that was better than half? How many times a match would you call better than half as a marker?
Every time it happens.
I would too. Anytime I don't know,
Advantage
It's
to the
better than
receiver. Better.
That's why you
half
don't mark.
yard.
players love me.
Wall up.
Good serve. Force him to a ground stroke. Rising ball.
Scores juice.
Good pickup.
2 and 3.
John looking pretty casual there. And 2 and 3 right on the line. Oh, that's a great ball.
Advantage, 1 chase. Chases 2 and 3.
Ryan, do we have a timer on how long this 3-love game has been? He says 16 minutes and 30 seconds. That's 31 seconds. 32 seconds.
Advantage to the receiver. Chase 2 and 3. Fault. Won it.
There we go. He's got it.
Game.
Oh my gosh.
1 game to 3.
No, nodded off, but one back in the room.
Fault.
John chasing that railroad now.
Sometimes it could be the same thing, though. You win that 3-love game that took so long and relax, but looks like Tony's just staying strong,
15 love.
keeping the confidence moving.
Oh,
Wow,
Great
such
volley.
a good volley.
that's good. 15 all.
Shot, Tony.
30-15. One and 2.
Tony's returning very positively. Even the point that he's lost this one was a good shot. Just a great volley from John.
Ooh, spicy. Tony's dictating the play now.
Better than 2. 1 and 2, better than 2. 2 chases.
Really changed the pace of the ball in this last game.
(30-15). Server leads. Chase 1 and 2. (40-15). Chase better than 2.
If you're Tony, you like to hear a little bit of noise from John's end.
Yeah. John, you can tell John's,
Chase
feeling a
off.
little bit of pressure.
40-15.
Chase off that.
Great bet.
Cool.
Good gets though, Tony. (30-40). Oh, unlucky.
Juice.
It's impressive how relaxed John is on those chaos balls.
Yeah. Like I said, he's got very good movement most of the time. I think that's a big part of it.
Advantage.
All right, Tony, lock in. Find the timbre.
Got his chance. always awkward when you got to change from backhand to forehand.
Game.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
It's a harder ball
4
than it
games
looks.
to 1. Better
That's
than
a good
3.
plan by John. Feels like he kind of stole that game from Tony.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
Out of court.
A couple of uncharacteristic errors from Tony as well.
15, love.
John
30 love.
continuing to ask good questions. Avoid mistakes and finding corners. Making Tony read them at speed. Obviously, I've just cursed him.
Yeah.
Always the way.
15, 30. Last gallery. 2
He's
chases.
missed the timbre there. Ryan Carey. Brutal replay. Not a lot of sympathy from the camera room.
No, there never has been, though.
Interesting.
Good observation, Susie. Although already on the chat, well followed up from Barney Tanfield asking what's the handicap of the 8th best qualifier?
30, 15.
To give us a
Server leads, chase
more
better
realistic
than
picture in
3.
line with the British Open 24 draw, because obviously it's a 16 draw.
Right.
Susie is pointing out 7.6. So the British Open, the strongest qualifier was 7.3, and this one, if you were to scale it out, is far 7.6, which shows that despite obviously the US having far fewer courts, the depth of players attending,
30 all.
both
Chase the
US
last
and
gallery.
otherwise is there. It's a great sign.
$40, 30.
All right, come on, Tony. If you can get this game at 2-4.
I feel like I should be supporting John just to even this up, because
Just looking for a good match.
there we go. Well, 5-1.
Game. 5 games to 1.
It's not over, but
And it's
John will
been
be
a great
happy to have
match.
had that one. It's been a
Yeah,
great
it's been a
match.
great
It's been a
match,
great
I'm not-
match. John has played some good stuff. Tony's had a great win in that second set. Great win. Still far from over. You've got no idea how this is going to go from here. Tony strings some points together, strings some games together. Starts to get close again.
15, love. That's it up. Second gallery, ball up, please.
Double. You should have done
Score is 30 love, 1 chase pending.
No, we can do it when you're playing cat.
Lovely backhand there from Tony in the end.
Great playing, Tony.
2 chases,
He's
change
put himself in a strong position in this game.
Out of the way. But, like, I was watching.
Pre-match interview. Freddie has declined the
Did
pre-match
pre-match.
interview. May result in a fine. As you know, the
Take
media
10% of my prize money.
the media
30
is
love. Server
who keeps
leads,
you relevant,
chase second
so-
gallery.
Yeah, 10% of my prize money. There you go. Take it.
I don't take bribes. Sorry, Freddie.
$0.
Oh, it's a great shot, Tony. All right, 40 love.
40 love. Chase 2. Game. That's 2 games to 5.
So John, having played very well to get 5-1 up there.
Oh.
Tony makes a fight back and wins the game to love. So
Yeah, Tony's doing a great
not
job.
over yet.
He's not losing his head at all. He's staying in it. It's impressive.
Second. Worse than 2. 2 chases.
John very happy to be regaining the service end with 1 passable chase and 1 good chase.
Shot. Adam.
Score is level. Chase, the second gallery.
I wonder if John will have a go at the railroad.
I'm doing those, man.
Thinking about it.
First
Surprised he didn't go railroad. Boy.
Yeah, well played.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would have thought he'd go railroad because
15
Tony's
love.
not
Chase worse
Well,
than
going
2.
for the roll.
Yeah,
Nick on
and
these second galleries.
he's not served in that many, which is always a benefit. That he's not going to be too comfortable reading it.
Oh, great get.
Another great shot from Tony, though.
15 all.
Oh my gosh, the dead on. Not a seat to be seen.
Worse than 6.
There's a queue outside waiting for Freddie.
Hazard 2. 2 chases. 15 all.
$10 entry. So we know that's the cost of the racket.
Rackets. Your rackets and never.
Austin. Got it? Yeah. 110 people.
Score is
Right.
15 all. Chase worse than 6.
Worse than 6 yards. Tony electing for a demi PK. No, sidewall. Good return for John.
15.
Hazard 2.
Hazard 2.
Will Tony get a second bounce on the bent house this time? Doesn't need one, serves it deep.
That's going to be tricky.
Good get.
All right, put it away, Tony.
Gallery. Yeah, well played, John. Good defence.
All right,
Never
John's-
really a clear-cut chance
John's
there.
got 2 match points here.
Yeah,
Great playing, Tony.
30, 40.
get the first one.
If you're John, do you just go for one big shot here, or you try to wear him down?
I think that's probably a mistake that's been made by many people over the years.
Right, stupid
And
question. I
and
take it back.
I think the smart thing is just keep doing what you've been doing, probably.
Totally, definitely.
40,
But obviously, if you can pull off one great shot, you know, what a great way to win.
Right.
Yeah, but
That's what I was what I was going to say.
In my experience or lack of, I've often tried to hit great shots in important moments, only to get it completely wrong and realise you put yourself in that position by playing your normal shots.
Right.
Do you want to be comfortable enough defending seconds, keep knocking balls towards the timbre? If you get an easy one to put into a hazard, fine. But
Yeah,
all things that he's been doing up until now, rather than trying to do something really clever.
If you lose this one here, you're serving at deuce for the match.
Oh, you just got to back yourself. Say, well, I got myself 5-2 up by doing this. I don't need to do anything crazy to get over the line.
But you wouldn't back yourself to hit one crazy good shot.
No, of course not. I would never back myself to hit any crazy good shots.
Me neither. I'm just asking. Yeah.
Fault.
Double fault.
Freddie Bristow's made a very early prediction of double fault.
Oh no. Oh no.
That was almost definitely long, wasn't it?
Shaky.
Nice and positive from John though to go and play it. Don't hope for an easy one. Just
Oh, it's a great volley.
Last gallery.
I think Tony would take that from there overall. Good
No,
tennis all round.
It's a great shot. Almost wondering if John should have gone for one huge shot at 40-15.
Regretting it now.
Advantage. One chase. Chase is the last gallery.
I think Noah might have been right.
Once again, showing that Nino was correct. Now I do. It's a rare small victory for me in this commentary booth.
We don't have any evidence that if he'd gone for it, he'd have got it right.
We do have hard evidence that you were wrong, so.
I see. Hey, it might have turned out it was a mistake for him to leap onto that forehand volley that was going to hit halfway at the back wall, but
I think he was going for a sensible shot there.
no, I think he was doing what you went for. I think he went for
No,
the big
he was
volley.
going consistency.
I see, yeah. Okay.
Gallery.
Give John some options. That's okay.
If Tony wins this game, do you think he brings it back to 5-all?
God knows.
Juice.
There's been quite a lot of momentum swing, hasn't there?
Yeah.
Lots of big tight games, and then plenty that have gone almost without response.
Oh my gosh. No, Tony.
First gallery.
What's that?
Incredible get though. I mean, and you're happy with the hazard.
Thank you. Score is juice.
Rather than the chase or a stroke there.
Yeah, obviously it was a great get, but he didn't he didn't hit the hazard off that ball, did he? He hit the hazard off an easier ball. So he did the hard work.
Sorry, didn't realize I was commentating with Camden. Us mortals, that's a pretty hard shot.
Lucky.
Out of court.
Yeah, now he's got a hazard first gallery.
Chase hazard. The first gallery.
Yeah, you're right. I guess galleries are open for everybody now. Tony can have the first crack.
I might transition to coaching.
One set all. 5-2 to John.
That's a great pickup. Shame that second ball was so tricky.
Go for a big one. Love it. Looking
Yeah,
at the
I mean,
comments.
Advantage.
yes, we've
to
had-
receiver. Chase is
We've had someone
hazard.
come in saying you should go for a big one.
Gallery.
Those of you that know him will be unsurprised to hear Zach Edel. Oh, he's hit hazard first.
Why did you go cross court low? doing?
Aim for the line.
No, Mr. Hindsight is. Minute play. Great cut volley. They don't want it to end.
No, none of us do. Yeah, Freddie is cold again, having warmed up for the third time already. And there it is.
Shot, Tony.
We're at 3-5.
3 games to
Through a
5.
couple of sensible shots from Tony.
You think my match is still on for 11?
Yeah. No. No.
Ball up, please, Tony.
Good news is, yeah.
Make it back.
15 love.
I think you definitely could make it back on time, Freddie. I don't know if you'd be winning in that scenario.
Definitely make it quick.
Yeah.
John's brought up third love here.
Faults.
Tony's not afraid of saving match points, so.
Love.
So this will be John's third match point.
Oh.
There we have it.
Sad way to end that match, but thanks for tuning in.
5-6, 6-3.
Good match for both players. It's great tennis. First one of what's likely to be a busy and pretty tight day, I think.
Yeah.
Right, Noah, you've got one whole match to go and warm up. Get on it.
All right.